We've got the typical Alabama mouth with a Vanderbilt trophy case.
Hey, no, I mean it's all love, but this is why this rivalry for people outside this state they can never understand because this is what
Of
we do.
course.
This is
Of
what we
course.
do. Y'all claim a national championship when y'all were buying players back in the 80s, and then outside of two generational quarterbacks, Dabo can't win. Y'all are never going back to the playoffs. I promise you, y'all will not, even in the 12-team playoffs, staying in the ACC, y'all would never see in the playoffs again until Dabo's gone. It's done. The run's over.
That's
The
so
run's over.
crazy.
Y'all falling off y'all's high horse. Florida State's back. Like, what are y'all gonna do?
It's funny, a Carolina fans worried about Clemson in the ACC. Y'all ain't even 500, man. Y'all 5-6.
It's not my fault that we play a real schedule.
A real schedule.
We can only play who's on our schedule. Four of our six losses are the top 25 team. We didn't get beat
outside of Georgia
by an unranked Duke team. Didn't happen.
Duke's better than half the teams on your schedule, record-wise. Well, I don't even believe you would beat Duke's third-string quarterback. How many sacks did you give up against that UNC team that we just beat?
The one where our former offensive analyst told them how our blocking schemes work. We gave up 9 sacks. It's cool. That's been addressed. We're a completely different offensive line since then. Only one of those guys is going to play this weekend. It's fine.
I mean, we'll see. I'm not saying we're going to have 9 sacks, but we are 7-4. But you haven't seen a team outside of Georgia that looks like us. If we don't have 3 turnovers, we're a 1-loss team.
But that's part of the game. Bro, it's still
if
North Carolina doesn't fumble the ball twice inside the 5, they blow y'all out. They should have been up 21-0.
Point is as bad as it's looked for Clemson, realistically, we're a one-loss team. If 3 plays go your way, Carolina's not close to having 7 wins.
We have 6 wins.
You probably
and look, coach will tell you, if they don't hit that deep post on the first play of the third quarter, if that ball gets picked, we beat Georgia. So I can say, if one play goes different, we beat Georgia. And then you're definitely not going to want to say anything because we have a win over the best team in college football. You can't just be like one play here, one play there. And y'all have 4 losses. And this weekend, y'all have 5.
I get it. And y'all have 6 and you'll have 7 and be bolus. But your third-year head coach who looks just like Will Muschamp.
But you know what the great part is? What happened last year? What happened last year in the Valley where y'all don't lose? Oh, we've won all these games in a row. What happened in the Valley? We came in there and we
took an L.
Yeah, and we stormed the field.
We took an L after 7 in a row. We took an L. It's inevitable. It's time to start a new streak, and that starts this week.
Not in Willie B.
Yeah. The fanatic. Where we keep it 100, keep it real. That's the only way we know how to be. Talking that sports talk. You know what I'm saying? Straight out of South Carolina. Upstate, A64. Yeah. The FANATTIC. The fanatic where we keep it OG. We talking sports, so I call it.
Welcome in, college football fans. It's the Fanatic on the Fanatic Sports Network. Listen, man, we're here for another preview, man. This time it's rivalry week, South Carolina versus Clemson. I'm here with my co-host, the Stat Guy, the Gamecock fan, and Seawalt with Fourth and Goal with Seawalt, the Clemson fan, man. We're here to talk rivalry week. How y'all doing, fellas?
Pretty good, Coach. How are you?
Hey, man, doing good, man. Ready for another good week of college football. Stat Guy, you hyped for this weekend?
Well, it's hate week, man. Don't matter. Throw the records out the window. It don't matter nothing else, man. Talk some trash all week long. Talk some trash over some turkey, and then line up over the football on Saturday and let's see what it's about.
That's right, man. Steve-Walt, you got a little interesting dynamic you told us about, man. You're a Clemson fan, and your brother is a Gamecock fan, man. You looking to talk some trash to him this week?
Yeah, man. We'll be in Carolina here on Wednesday, and Thursday over Thanksgiving dinner, we'll have that discussion. It usually gets a little rowdy after dinner, but ready to have good fun with them.
So you older than the South Carolina fan, brother?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, how much older? Is it a small gap?
I've got about 3.5 years.
So has any Thanksgiving dinner turned to a wrestling match or fisticuffs over the rivalry?
Not quite, but it does get pretty loud and tempers flare, and we just have to separate and move on.
That's how it is, man. Listen, man, true rivalry. I always say this is one of the more underrated rivalries because when they talk about national rivalries, you talk about the Ohio State, Michigans, Auburn, Alabamas, Army, Navy, things of that nature. But being here from South Carolina, man, I get to see both sides and sit in the middle. And this one right here is just as good as they get, to be honest with you. You know, teams fighting, keeping people out of bowl games. Let's hope that doesn't happen this year. Kids fighting on the field and keeping both teams out of postseason play. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, man, so today, if you are new to the channel, man, hit that like button and subscribe. You know, share the content with your people. If you're a South Carolina Clemson fan, give us your score predictions. We'll talk about some predictions from these two guys at the end of the video. We'll go through some season expectations and overviews, you know, expectations versus reality from both. Then we'll talk about the offenses versus defense for both teams and just have a good old time, man. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, Seawalt, in the Dabo era, man, versus South Carolina, man, 8-5 all time versus South Carolina, won 7 in a row from 2014 to 2021, and 4-3 on the road at South Carolina. And last win at South Carolina was in 2021. You guys gave them the goose egg, man. So just talk about the season, man, just a little bit, 2023, and what you thought coming in and how it's been.
Yeah, look, the expectations for this Clemson team this year were sky high. You know, the players, the coaching staff, everybody's talking playoffs and national championship. We get to week 1 and find out that's not where Clemson's at as a program or a team. We're currently 7-4. We've hit some roadblocks to start the season and started out 4-4. We're on a 3-game winning streak, 2 wins against top 25 opponents. And I think we've come through that block in the road and come out the other side. So I think things are looking up for the Tigers right now, and I think they're hitting their stride and gaining momentum toward rivalry game, bowl season, and the start of next season.
Yeah, man, you guys did definitely start out slow. I think you guys knew it was going to be tough at Duke. But I didn't think you would. I didn't think anybody thought, not even me, you know, that Duke would win like that. Possibility to win, yes, but not how they did. And then, you know, the season was not looking good, and then it seems to be that you guys got a little momentum. What do you think the reason for the turn and the momentum is up there in Clemson, South Carolina?
Tyler from Spartanburg. No, not just joking, you know. But really, I think it's just the we figured out offensively, you know, what our strengths are and where we can move the ball and what we need to do to put Cade in the offensive line in the best position for our offense and the personnel in that offense.
Okay, well, we'll see if that thing can keep going. Like Dabo has said the other day, if Clemson stock really low right now, but if you know what you know what he knows, you better buy the stock right now. So, hey, Tyler from Spartanburg got his little 15 minutes of fame, but the coaches apparently did something in practice and game planning to figure out, like you say, the strengths on offense and things of that nature. Not for nothing, the secondary and the defense have been playing a lot better than they did in the beginning of the season. So I think that helped. So, all right, man, we're going to jump over to the South Carolina perspective of this thing here, man, and let the stat guy talk about it. Stat guy, what's going on, man? Hey, Gamecocks in the Beamer era, 19-17 overall, 15-5 home record, 5-1 home record this year. In 2023, in your last win versus Clemson, coincidentally came last year, you know what I'm saying, where you went to Death Valley and beat them, man. Talk about the Gamecocks, you know, coming into the season, your expectations versus the reality of what's happened.
Yeah, I mean, coming into the year, I think a lot of fans were thinking that somewhere in that 8-4, 10-2 was feasible with what we felt the offense could do. We found out very early that Dak Joyner, while we appreciate his commitment to the team, is not an SEC running back. And so kind of put us behind the 8 ball early, but a brutal schedule. We've been beat up all year. Juice never got healthy. Amarian Brown's missed time. I mean, just a lot of injuries as far as weapons. And then we have 6 offensive linemen that are out for the season. And so, I mean, when you talk about a position like that, that's not necessarily a strength to begin with, and now you're scraping the bottom of the barrel, giving freshmen who you were hoping to redshirt meaningful starts late in the season. It's really been a change. The defense has been very disappointing this year, obviously coming on a lot better of late. But the defense has definitely been kind of a sour note. But hey, here we are, heading into the last week of the year. The bowl game is still on the table, which looked almost not after starting off 2-6, and we get Clemson under the lights at South Carolina. We haven't lost under the lights in Columbia since that 2021 loss to Clemson. So you're looking at 2 full years of winning night home games. And so hopefully we can keep that streak going.
That's right, man. You guys have had a lot of injuries, and that's where sometimes competitive depth comes in. What's the overall feelings for Beamer and where he has the program headed and getting that competitive depth so those injuries don't affect you as much?
Yeah, I mean, you look at the recruiting class in 24 that he's bringing in a guy that's probably a fringe five. He is a 5-star in some publications, but he's a consensus high 4-star in the composite, a 5-star offensive lineman, another 4-star offensive lineman. So bringing in those guys to help immediately at the depth at that position, which we're plagued with this year, and then with some of the weapons that we're bringing in on offense to add to the pieces that we already have, the Mazio Bennett Juniors that should step in and make immediate impacts as freshmen, I think is really good to see. And, we're already starting to build a foundation in both the 25 and 26 class. Beamer's thing is going to be, if he can hold this class together, whether we win Saturday or not, it'll buy him some time. Everybody's really high on Lenore's coming into next year. And so as long as he can hold this recruiting class together with the year we've had this year, I think you can start looking ahead. Okay, there's brighter future on the horizon. Put another big recruiting class together in 25, and now you've had 2 in a row, and now you can start seeing the fruit, some of that fruit be bared from the tree based off of bringing in these higher recruiting classes that you now have that competitive depth that we've been lacking the last couple of years.
Okay, like you said, we talk off camera a lot about Shane Beamer and the time frame that he may have. He is in year 3, like you said, with some of this recruiting coming in. I know he has a buzz down there in Columbia. We'll see what it looks like, in 24 and 25 those seasons, because that's his 4th and 5th year, and see if he can get this thing righted, man. So let's go ahead and jump into some other things, other topics. Let's go ahead and talk about this South Carolina offense for the 2023 season versus the Clemson defense. So Seawalk, what are you looking for, man, this weekend, man, so that you guys don't have any performances like you had, probably in those first couple of games, man, going against Spencer Rattler? But he doesn't have a lot of weapons, but he's been one of the hottest quarterbacks in the country this year.
Yeah, I'm looking at this Nate Wiggins, Xavier Leggett matchup. That's going to be a good one. This can make Nate some more money because Leggett's had an amazing season on the outside. So that's one big matchup I'm looking at. I want to see the Clemson defense, their defensive line, stay gap sound. All too often this season, they've been in the wrong gaps, leaving wide open running lanes. And Mario Anderson's come on as a pretty good running back. And if you leave those gaps there, he's not easy to take down. And we've missed a lot of tackles this year. So we need to stay gap sound, play fundamental football across the defensive line, and shut those running lanes down.
Yeah, man. The matchup between Wiggins and Leggett is definitely something that all college football fans are definitely looking at. You're talking about one of the hottest wide receivers, in the SEC, if not the nation, in Leggett. And then Nate Wiggins has seemed to found his groove in that secondary. I know you definitely don't want to give up as many yards as you gave up to North Carolina, even though you won. That guy kind of went for like 160 plus. So I'm interested to see what that front seven is going to look like as well. Stat guy. That South Carolina offense, man, what do they need to do Saturday to stay in this game and have a chance to win?
Just need good performance out of the offensive line. And I don't even think it needs to be great. As long as they can do what they've done these last couple weeks. Obviously, the kid from Kentucky, the big number 0 defensive tackle, ate our run game alive, but really didn't get pressure on Spencer. So as long as they can protect Spencer, I think offensively we're going to be in a great shape. Super excited to see this Nate Wiggins, Xavier Leggett matchup. I hope Clemson makes him travel with them. Xavier's not just going to run up and down the sidelines. He's going to take them on post across the middle. And one of those guys is going to earn a lot of money come 11 p.m. Saturday night. Somebody's going to get the championship belt. They're both big dudes, which would be good. But just as far as offense, you got to mention, I mean, Juice Wells might be back. 60 or 70% juice is better than some of the other weapons we have, even if it's just as a decoy. And if he's 80 or 90%, Clemson fans know all too well after what he did to him last year with all the tunnel screens that he is an absolute problem. On top of that, these last couple of weeks, we've seen more and more of Lenore Sellers in meaningful action, not just riding the clock out. I would be absolutely shocked if he doesn't throw the ball 5 to 10 times against Clemson Saturday. I think they're going to put him in. They're going to lull him to sleep with the zone read. And then I think on a second or third down, you're going to get to see the arm talent that Lenoir's has. And I fully expect him to be an integral part of the passing game.
Yeah, we've come to expect some trickeration, from Shane Beamer and company, man. You think they'll have anything for the talented freshman, the wide receiver? What's his name?
Nick Harbor.
Nick Harbor.
No, I'll be honest. And the reason why I don't is because these last couple of weeks, he's starting to come on more and more as a route runner. He's more fluid in his routes. I don't think this is the week to pull out something crazy with him and kind of mess up the momentum he's building as a wide receiver. Why risk damaging his long-term future for one thing that may or may not pop? Now, I mean, we might run a double reverse or a jet sweep or something to him, but we've done that this year already. But as far as something just crazy to try to get his speed out in the open, I think they're more comfortable with him just being a wide receiver, running his routes, and see if Spencer can get him the ball in space.
Okay, but one more thing before we jump into the defense of the Gamecocks versus Clemson's offense. See, Walt, I know you and I talk about that defensive line, man. How long are you thinking Dabo is going to wait to play more of the freshmen? You know what I'm saying? Like to get some of Peter Woods more playing time. Like, what if Mario Anderson's having a good day? Like, sometimes coaches are stubborn like that, and they still can give most of the snaps to the seniors. You know what I mean?
Well, the rotation they run as, there's upperclassmen that are listed as the ones typically come in for 2 series, then they start swapping out after that second series, and kind of, I mean, they're rotating 6 guys at every position. So after the first 3 series, you're getting a mixture of everybody. You may have Rook and Peter Woods, and then Tyler Davis and Peyton Page, Damani Capehart, Peter Woods. So I think it works better for us to have that revolving, fresh big guy in the middle to try to help stop the run. And when those young guys, come in, like we talked about on the past stream, the run defense looks way better. So if it gets to where Mario Anderson's getting chunk plays, you have to pull those guys, regardless of the game, regardless of seniority in class.
That's right, man. Those are all valid points, man. Let's jump on the other side of the ball, man, and talk South Carolina defense versus Clemson offense. That guy, man. This hasn't been a typical what we come to know as a South Carolina secondary. I know you guys have been banged up. They're still good, but they're like, we as college football fans expect South Carolina to have a good secondary, like, pretty much. I ain't gonna say lockdown, but close to it. You know what I'm saying? So, other than injuries, what's been the issue with the South Carolina defense?
Not putting pressure on the quarterback. Don't matter how good of a secondary you got. You give a quarterback in the SEC 7 to 10 to 12 seconds to throw the ball, somebody's getting open. So somebody's coming back to the ball. Really, I like our secondary. The big thing's going to be getting pressure. I'm really excited for the interior matchup against Clemson's offensive line with TJ Sanders and the Tonka Hemingway. Those 2 dudes have anchored our line all year long. They bat down a ton of balls. They get pressure up the middle. And so I'm really excited to see the 2 of them against Clemson's pass offense and hoping we can kind of disrupt things there. We've been a little light on the edge. Something to watch out for. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Last week against Kentucky, we switched to the 3-3-5 to get some of our better players on the field. We had guys like Bam Scott, who's kind of like that nickel star position guy, was banged up most of the year. Now he's back healthy, has been practicing great. And so they changed to this 3-3-5 to get players that they feel are better and more comfortable in on the field for more snaps. Obviously, we're not going to run the 3-3-5 every snap, every game. It's not like old school West Virginia or anything like that. Just kind of a base that you'll see us in. But definitely interested with that lineup and trying to stop Clemson's run game because 3-3-5s historically get gashed in the run game. And so that's something to keep an eye out for.
Big facts, man. See what on the offensive side of the ball, man. I think sometimes Cade plays good. Sometimes he doesn't. I don't think overall, for me, he hasn't been the guy that the recruit ranking said he was. But you did get Tyler Brown, the true freshman, come on. Looks like Adam Randall's coming on. If I'm not mistaken, Stellato played against North Carolina, right? He's been out for a while. So what are you looking for from this offense? What does Clemson need to do well on Saturday to come away with the dub?
So this is pretty simple. Clemson's got to run block well and run the football well. If we can do that and protect the football, I think we should win this game. The last 3 weeks, we've rushed for over 200 yards in the game. We've won all 3 games, and we've won the turnover margin. I will say the wide receiver core has taken a pretty big hit over the last couple of weeks. Bo Collins is going to be out. I didn't know this until yesterday, but Adam Randall's been playing with a broken hand. The thing's been wrapped up during the week and then unwrapped so he can play in the game. So you're looking at, and Antonio Williams is out as well. So you're looking at Adam Randall with a broken hand, Tyler Brown, and then Ronan Hannafin and Troy Stellato. Ronan Hannafin's a true freshman. And then Hamp Green, who's a former walk-on. So the wide receiver core, we're thin. So it's going to take us using Brenning Stool across the middle and running the football. That's what we're going to have to do to win this game.
Okay, I definitely agree, and especially in that what you said about the turnovers. Definitely in the beginning of the year, bro. I swear it's like every game y'all have a red zone turnover or something crazy to stop y'all from scoring. Man, what'd you kind of attribute that to? Just players not focused, or I mean, because honestly, it was between like Cade and Maffa and Shipley, more so Shipley and Cade. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's just execution, attention to details on the players. I mean, that's what you have to attribute it to. Lack of focus, and those guys have got to be focused. Last year in this game, Maffa had a fumble, Antonio Williams had a fumble. At the end of the day, those 2 fumbles gift wrapped the win for Carolina.
Big facts. And that's the thing. And going on the road, you guys in these last 2 games, man. I know in North Carolina, y'all played them at home, and who'd y'all play right before North Carolina? Y'all beat Notre Dame at the house,
Georgia Tech,
and then you beat Georgia Tech at the house. So how are you feeling about those guys handling this environment? Because regardless of the record, South Carolina always brings a raucous environment for their night home games.
Look, I can hope we're at the end of the season. These guys have played enough away games to understand how to play on the road, but they are a different team on the road. They do struggle a little more. So that may play a factor into this. But I guess we'll have to see on that one.
Yeah. That guy we mentioned when you talked a little bit about South Carolina, y'all been 5-1 at home this year. Over Beamer's era, you've been pretty good at home, but Clemson has come into Willie B and beat you guys. How are you feeling? Well, about that atmosphere, you guys, and how you can affect Clemson this year?
Yeah, I mean, Clemson basically came out and admitted it today. They're pumping Sandstorm all week long into their practice. They can do that all they want. Under the lights in Willie B is just completely different. And I mean, no disrespect, Clemson can only play who's on their schedule, but they have not faced an environment like they're walking into Saturday night. And I mean, it's just different. It's going to be loud. The fan bases hate each other anyway. Look for false starts to potentially be an issue. I mean, the place is going to be absolutely swaying in Columbia Saturday night.
Yeah, they played at North Carolina State. North Carolina State definitely has a good football team, or at least a good football program. And then they played at Miami, played at Syracuse, at Duke. I'll be honest, Seawall, of those away games, what do you think might have been the closest, that resembles, like I say, none of them are South Carolina at night, like I say, regardless of the record. But, I guess I would say NC State, maybe.
I would go with Syracuse because you're in the dome.
Because it's hard to play in the dome. I got you. Okay, they did come away with the win at Syracuse, 31-14. And, of course, there's no transitive property, but we'll see. I mean, you have it's a rivalry week, man. So if you can't listen, I don't care how loud it is or whatever it is. If you can't get up for this game, whether you're wearing the garden black or the orange and white, then you definitely don't need to be playing college football. So let's get into some keys to the game and some predictions, man. So since South Carolina is the home team, we'll let Stat Guy go last. Seawalk on the road, keys to the game, and give us your prediction. Clemson is a 7.5-point favorite.
Keys to the game: run the ball, run the ball, run the ball.
200 yards and you get the dub, huh?
200 yards rushing, we'll get the win. Don't turn the ball over. Win the turnover margin, and score in the red zone. That's the 3 keys. And let's see. I've been to 4 Clemson Carolina games. I'm 4-0. The very first game I went to in Death Valley, 2014, broke the streak. The next 3 alternated back to Williams-Brice. Basically dominating wins. One was a little closer. 4-0. This year, 5-0. I don't lose when we go to Williams-Brice.
Seawalt has tickets to the game.
I have been given some tickets to the game from my younger brother. He is a Carolina fan and a season ticket holder. And this is the one game a year he hooks me up for sure. With that being said, I'm taking Clemson 27-20. I'll stick right around the spread. Clemson 27-20. That's my prediction.
Okay, that means the Carolina would cover the 7.5. If it stays that way, it is early in the week. We're recording this on Monday, November the 20th, and DraftKings and Vegas Insider has the spread at 7.5. So, little brother, if you are watching, that's dope that you gave him some tickets, because I know the rivalry could be heated enough. You can say, hey, man, you buy your own tickets. So, hey, that's it. Seawall says key to the game is 200 plus yards rushing, red zone scoring, and taking care of the ball. Stat Guy, hey, man, 7.5-point dogs at the house, 7:30 at night. SEC, what's this, SEC Network game or ABC game? This is SEC Network game. Yeah, so give me your keys to the game and your prediction.
Well, first of all, I just want to say I'm disappointed that little bro tossed some tickets to somebody wearing that nasty old orange. But hey, I guess because it's blood, I'll let it slide. Look, man, keys to the game is win the turnover battle. I think that's important for both teams. South Carolina, when we've created turnovers at home, we win football games. Just plain and simple. So create turnovers, win the turnover battle, keep Spencer Rattler upright. They don't even have to give him all day. If they can give him 4 to 5 second pocket, he's going to step up and take a hit. And I promise you, he will carve them up like that Thanksgiving turkey. I think we're going to see a lot of Lenore Sellers in the run game and using some of that, maybe some trickery within that. But other than that, I mean, shoot, maybe just play it like last year and wait for Clemson to try the flying V on a kickoff return and just hand you the game inside of a Christmas present. I don't know. Score prediction. Look, man, I am well known that I like to come out of the box with some craziness. I'm letting y'all know right here. 2 years ago, I told Coach I the downfall of Clemson was coming. And I promise y'all the downfall of Clemson's coming, and we're about to bury the dagger in their heart Saturday night in Willie B. South Carolina 38, Clemson 10. Get the hell out of our state that we run. How about them Cocks?
Do you really run this state? I believe the history says something a little different.
So funny.
But go ahead.
I'm so glad we brought up Run the State. We do have this nice little thing in the state of South Carolina called the Palmetto Series, a fun little competition across all the sports between South Carolina and Clemson. We're 5-0. So end of the day, we do run the state when it comes to athletics.
Okay, you get one every so often. It's all right. Look at the national championship trophies in the trophy case, or the ACC championships in the trophy case. You got one. How many SEC championships?
Who's the team that's begging to come to the big bad SEC? That would be your Tigers, not my Gamecock. But you know what? And here's the great part. Like I said at the beginning of the show, hey, we'll get through this week. Come Saturday at 7:30, they're gonna tee the ball up. Sandstorm's gonna be rocking. We're gonna boom that thing off. And then in 3.5 hours, we'll know who the champion of the state is. And then we'll be back.
I'm going to tell you where you can find me. the end zone opposite of the student section. If you look at the right goalpost, go 3/4 of the way up. I'll be straight behind that goalpost, 3/4 of the way up.
I'll be looking for a dot of orange with all the white towels waving.
And I'll be doing this for you on TV.
There you have it, Carolina and Clemson fans, man. Listen, the rivalry is heated. This is one of the better ones in the nation. If not top 3, I don't know what you're talking about when you're talking about rivalry, man. Gamecocks versus Clemson, man. Listen, it's going down this weekend. Somebody's going to have bragging rights. Somebody's not going to come to the Saturday night snap count because they're going to be too ashamed. But there you have it, man. We appreciate Seawalk coming on, chopping it up with us, man, talking about the Palmetto series here with South Carolina versus Clemson. 7.5-point dogs at home. Carolina's looking to pull the upset again 2 years in a row, and Clemson is looking to keep riding the ship, man. So, hey, Clemson and Carolina fans, get in the comments. Let us know your predictions, what you think the keys to the game are, and things of that nature, man. So for my guy, Stat Guy, and Seawalk, I'm Coach I, Fan Addict on the Fan Addict Sports Network. We're out of here.
We got it jumping like it's that valley. I call my dogs out the pound, let's go eat. Turn on the Fan Addict, let's have a debate. Who really hold down the Southeast from state to state? What team hungry gonna eat everything up off they plate?